I'm making this video because the Catholics kicked off their so-called Faith Holy Week this week, yesterday being Palm Sunday. And I cannot stress it enough that the serpent has a bloodline on the earth, an actual bloodline. We're not talking about spiritual children, but flesh and bone children. This is a battle between her seed and his seed, the serpent seed. So I came across this headline in the news today. Prayers, Bible lessons, and a big red bus. How an Ohio group is bringing God to public schools. Seems good and innocent, right? First of all, you need to know the spirit behind these religions and these prayers, where they're coming from. And once you know, you will see this is not as innocent, as good as you think it is. This is Christendom. This has nothing to do with the Torah. My sister referred this video to me. It's on YouTube. It was made 7 years ago. I will be playing portions of it, but you could go to YouTube and watch the full video. But before I do, let me explain a couple of things. So I posted a video a couple of days ago on the Heavens Light 2. And the title is Vampires, Dragon, and the Trapping of Our Men. And I explain how they use women, sex magic. There has always been temple prostitutes. You will find that in the scriptures. Ishtar, for the fertility goddess, she will have her temple prostitutes. That never went away. It's still happening today. And you're going to see how she covers that in her video. In the scriptures, it tells you you're supposed to have faith like a mustard seed, not religion. Religion was created by man, and behind religion you will find Freemasonry and Jesuits. Messianic colors, black and white, including Islam and Christianity. What they gave the world is Christendom. This is from the Kabbalah tree. You see Christianity, Islam, Kab, the black cube, is idolatry. You see beneath Kabbalah is Sharia law. And it goes all the way down to America. That's what's coming. Kabbalah is for the cube of Allah, or the black cube of Saturn for Saturn worship. So these three religions work together, better known as the Abrahamic religions. And the covenant wasn't made with Ishmael but with Isaac. So prior to Ishmael joining Edom, he served the God of his father, Abraham. But somewhere along the line, Muhammad came along. So I can see in this reading right here, Psalms, he joins the Edomites. In the Abrahamic religions, the only one that's from Shem is Ishmael, and Ishmael joined Edom. So Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So the children of Israel come from Shem. Japheth are the Gentile nations. These are the Caucasian nations, the white nations. So these are the nations they came out of Japheth, and as you can see, they're part of Grand Tartaria. Tartaria, Magog, and that includes the Turks, Khazars, Chinese, Mongols, and Slavs. Grand Tartaria was erased from historical records. And these are the nations that are coming to invade America, Russia and China. And the Khazars. So Grand Tartaria is a blanket term for Europe and Asia. It extended globally. And it ran on AI technology. That's why this is not new. None of it is new. That's why the European Union is behind everything that's coming. And the UE building is purposely designed to look like the Tower of Babel. So they call themselves Aryans, right? Tartaria, Aryan. But it's more like Iranian. I will explain in a minute. Better yet, the clip that I'm about to play for you will explain it better. The Holy Grail, Aryan race. And that is the Papal bloodline, the Merovingians, the 13 holy bloodline. Like I said, it's more like Iranian, because this got roots all the way to Babylon. 1302, Pope claims authority over all souls. Unam Sanctam. And the reading of Jeremiah 51, they're coming to attack Babylon, which is America. As you can see there, Ashkenaz. Scientists reveal Jewish history, forgotten Turkish roots, Ashkenaz. So these Ashkenazi Jews come from France, Central and Eastern Europe, including Germany, Poland, Russia. The Khazars are 13 tribe identity thieves. Notice how they call themselves Jews, but never Hebrews? They took the identity of Judah, and you get Jews from Judah. Remember the 2 thieves on either side of Yahushua? This is the crossover. This is what this means. To open their eyes and turn them from darkness to light, and from the power of Satan to Yah, so that they may receive forgiveness of sins and place among those who are sanctified by faith in me. So the place of the cross means that you cross over from darkness to light. And Yahushua is the door, he's the in-between. Because Hebrew means to cross over, to be born again. That's why in cartoons they always have an angel on one side and a demon on the other side. He will gain control of the treasures of gold and silver and all the riches of Egypt. That's from the reading of Daniel. That's easy. Let's follow the money trail. Pope, Gematria, Angel, Abaddon. How about Vatican? Confirm, Father of the Serpent. Central bank digital currencies. All money leads to Rome. Vatican owns all world currency. Catholic Church is the mother of all churches. So what they gave the world, Christendom, is having a form of godliness but denying its power. So what they gave to the world is the Jewish sun god. That's a sun god that was born on December 25th. His name is Isus. And look at the areas: Germany, England, France, Scandinavian countries. Other churches are no sisters of ours, the Vatican says. No, they're the daughters. You notice the trident on his head? Notice how both the Greek and the Hindu god has a trident? That's what happened during the Council of Nicaea, where they came together and gave the world the new God, the Christian God, Jesus Christos. That's why the names that we worship to have been changed. Our Sabbath have been changed. Our feast days have been replaced. And books have been removed. The Apocrypha, which means hidden knowledge. And they call it the Holy See, like the all-seeing eye. And that includes this pagan Easter that's coming up. Like I said, this is the Holy Week that started with the Palm Sundays yesterday. You guys want to be on the right side of things, but things are about to pop off real soon. And you want to be under Jah's protection. And what do people usually eat on Easter? Ham. Easter ham. We're instructed in our Torah that we're not supposed to have it. We're not supposed to eat ham. But I know, I can hear the Christians already say, but God knows my heart. You haven't noticed that also the Christmas colors are green and red? The horses of the book of Revelations are the same colors as these Islamic nations. And she also explained how Fidel Castro too happens to be descendant of the Popo bloodline. Because you know, all principalities, they run these nations. Haven't you noticed how many flags have the sun, moon, and stars in them? So yes, all roads lead back to Rome. It's time to cross over, guys. Because crossover means Hebrew. Crossover, guys. From darkness to light.
Alarming about what's happening in the universities is that in the fall of 2015, less than a year ago, the state university campuses were turned over to Satanism.
Okay, let's stop at this juncture. How do we substantiate that? Where do we look in order to verify that claim?
Well,
All right, because we're doing solid
Right.
scholarship here.
and this has to do with Katehi also.
Okay,
The
that doesn't surprise me.
okay, just a minute. Oh,
So
where-
in the
where's the
fall,
list?
we had a rollout of,
Yes.
of the satanic agenda.
Yes.
All right.
So I started seeing satanic symbols on and off UC Berkeley, the UC Berkeley campus. And for instance, I saw the head of the goat, which
Baphomet,
Baphomet,
the
in
goat of Mendes.
in students' windows. I started seeing stars turned upside down, so that the two points of the stars represented the goat's horns. And I saw American flags turned upside down and backwards on the balconies of the students' apartments. That was representing overthrow of the U.S. government. Laurence and I have recorded the ski team, UC Berkeley ski team, in the house next door to us during parties. They were drinking and dancing and everything, and they were talking in loud voices about overthrowing the U.S. government.
No, this is anecdotal, though. This is
No, we have tape recordings.
Well, you've recorded it, but you're interpreting it. So, do you have any sort of Because I've been reading in the corporate press about the growing popularity of religions such as Wicca. So they're just portraying it as a form of religious expression rather than a satanic takeover. I think, I agree with you. There's something deeper here that.
Oh, there's much more. Okay.
Yes, but I want to, for the sake of the skeptics out there, beyond the anecdotal, and I know you've recorded and you've photographed these signs. I've seen them as well. YouTube is full of, there's a satanic ritual taking place at the Super Bowl, at the American Music Awards. The internet's full of that type of display. So we know something's going on. I wanted to find out definitively, is there some sort of Department of Defense or something like equivalent to the National Security Memorandum 200 that was workshopped, a white paper that says we are going to convert the universities and college in the United States to Satanism?
It doesn't come out directly like that, but it's happening not just in California, just on the UC campuses. It's happening across the United States. It's happening in Europe. For instance, in the UC campuses now, in the land grant university campuses around the U.S., there's very heavy recruiting with very young entering students, female students, to become prostitutes. And there is a lot of student prostitution now, which is encouraged by these sort of underground networks, and they're coming from the campus. But in Europe, they have referred to this coming out of the military. And we know that when the U.S. Destroyed Yugoslavia, DynCorp went in, and the first thing they did was to begin recruiting young women who were starving to death and living in horrible conditions to be prostitutes. And I saw those beautiful Yugoslavian girls in Tokyo, in Roppongi, which is the nightclub area of Tokyo. And they were obviously on drugs. They were standing in doorways in pairs, and they were looking for customers. This is happening at the University of Michigan. They have a satanic group active on and off the university campus.
Well, at Harvard University, some student organization that claimed to be satanic or Luciferian was going to hold a black mass on campus.
That's
right.
right.
They did call it off.
That's right.
But I think they were testing the waters to see how far they could take this agenda.
Well, off the campus is a satanic group, a formal group.
I see.
In where the University of Michigan is. Is that Lansing? I'm not sure what city it is.
University of Michigan.
But they
East
were
Lansing is Michigan State. Ann Arbor.
Ann Arbor.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So they, in the mainstream media, they reported an official satanic group,
Right.
organized group, was going down to Louisiana to do a satanic ritual for the city council.
Right.
And it was like there was a big question about whether the city council wanted them to do it or not, but it ended up happening, and now there's a new chapter of that satanic group in Louisiana, in that city. I think it was New Orleans. This is coming out of the military.
Okay.
It's part of the occult.
All right. So does this perhaps trace back to Colonel Michael Aquino?
Oh,
Are you familiar with that individual?
Absolutely, it traces back to the Jesuits. It traces back to Mesopotamia, to the Kabbalah and the Talmud, which were magic cult instruction books, and they recommended pedophilia in children, but they had to be under 8 years old. and it's in the Kabbalah and the Talmud, and properly practicing Jews, I'm not including them. They follow the Torah. The Talmud and the Kabbalah are satanic.
The Babylonian
cults.
Talmud. Is
Yes,
that what it is?
yes.
Okay.
Those are satanic cults.
And are those satanic cults controlled, or were they created by these ancient Iranian bloodlines?
Yes, they were. They
Please
were.
expand.
Well, for instance, the Aldo Brandini is one of the ancient Iranian bloodlines. It's a famous Italian family. And Al-Dob, Al is the, Dob is devil, Dini. Al-Dob,
The people of the devil.
Yeah, the people of the devil.
Wow.
So they're definitely satanic. They're proud of it. They're open about it. We have a website, lorenmarais.info, and we have a Rothschild ball with photographs of the Rothschilds and their guests and members of their family doing satanic practices.
This is the masked ball photos?
The masked ball.
And by the way, they're called Venetian masks, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Right.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we can see the cultural and the
Yes.
historical continuities, ladies and gentlemen.
And the Venetians were Iranians.
Well, yeah, you alluded to that. That's
Yes.
why I
Yes.
interjected that, because
Yes.
I'm interested in masking.
But
Because
the Middle East, these Mesopotamians, all of Eurasia, we know now from DNA studies done over the last 5 years, especially by Russia, all of Eurasia was settled by Central Asians.
Please talk a little bit about the DNA studies, and I
Yes.
assume that these studies are coming out of the Human Genome Project, right?
No, they wouldn't be coming out of the
Okay.
Human Genome Project, which is American. They're coming out of Russian
Okay.
scientific research.
All right, because
Yes.
this DNA, from our conversations,
Yes.
this DNA research provides the scientific backing that helps support this hypothesis or this theory in the making. It's irrefutable, it's ironclad, and I think this is probably the most important development in this type
Right.
of research. It's hard science. It's not fantasy. It's
Yes.
supported by
Right.
definitive DNA analysis, and you can
Yes.
trace the distribution
Yes.
of these different peoples, these different
Yes.
tribal groups, and
Yes.
how their culture and their religious practices migrated
Yes.
across the world, and how they have been transmitted to us down here to 2016 are embodied
Right.
in people like Linda
Right.
P.B. Katehi,
Right?
Familia Castro,
Yeah, or the Familia
right, the
Castro.
Farnese,
Yeah.
right,
And
all
so-
the different linkages.
So, for instance, with Castro, this is a different kind of a DNA study, but it's physical characteristics and how powerful they are. I said, okay, Alejandro Farnese, or Pope Paul III, worked for a Borgia, and who was the Pope. And when that Borgia died, Lucretia Borgia was his daughter, the infamous Lucretia Borgia. And so when that Pope died, he made Alessandro Farnese a cardinal at 24, and then he made him Pope as his successor. And so I took photographs of paintings of Alessandro Farnese when he was young, and then when he was Pope, and then when he was a very old man as a Pope, in his 80s or something. And then I took paintings of his sons and their coats of arms. The coats of arms are always on the paintings. And then I collected Pope Paul III's grandsons, photos of them. They were cardinals. And then I found a painting of Fidel Castro in black, like a Spanish hat or a monk's hat, and a black robe with just a tiny white collar, peeking through. And I said, "What's this?" Well, it's his portrait, which will have his coat of arms added to it after he dies.
Mm-hmm.
And then that will be put in some palace in Italy.
Okay.
in Piacenza, one of their palaces in Piacenza.
No individuals here, but we're talking about a system which is in bad need, serious need of investigation, reformation, and the perspective that Ms. Moret has provided us today
Yes,
has been an incredible tool in
yes,
prying up these barnacles that are slowing down the ship.
yes,
Because we're going to sail to the outer universe if allowed to do
Yes.
so. That's our part of our endowment. Science
Yes.
is not inherent; it's liberating. But we
Yes.
have these types of people who've monopolized this knowledge
Right.
and have perverted it.
Right.
So we're going to free it up, and we're going to enter into a new era, a renaissance of human creativity and achievement.
absolutely.
If these people are just shunted aside. And,
And-
we'll do a peace and reconciliation to say, just go away, all right?
Yes.
Just let us do our thing. We're
Right.
not interested in throwing you in prison where you should be. Just let us be. Let us fulfill our destinies as human beings.
And what's so egregious is this is an outrageous violation of university policy, of state government policy, of constitutional rights.
It's criminal.
It's criminal.
Let's call it what it is. It's criminal.
And yet, this selective enforcement, putting her on administrative leave for only 1 month, is typical of the University of California. And there's so many people who've done even worse things in the administration who never were made accountable for it because it's part of the culture. Now, what is happening in the University of California and UC Davis is this swing to Satanism is converting these institutions into places where they're bringing foreign students here, they're bringing out-of-state students here, and they're training them to occupy their own countries, to overthrow their own governments, and to act as saboteurs in corporations and places where they go for employment in the future. And so it's destroying the social fabric and the economic fabric of their countries.
We have been warned, ladies and gentlemen. It's up to us to subvert these plans.
That's right.
And they've been workshopped and they've been war gamed. They've been white papered. We know the problem now. Now is the time to act. So can we, at this point, promise to carry on the conversation and
Yes.
further deepen it
Yes.
at a later time?
Yes.
Ms. Moret, Lauren Moret, my dear friend and colleague, thank you so much for this conversation. It has been a joy, a pleasure. I haven't had this much fun so far as intellectual exchange in years. Because I'm used to working with cowards, bullies, and ignoramuses.
Well, I'm not afraid, and I love adventures, and this is really the best adventure I've ever been on, with the wildest characters involved. And who would ever think Fidel Castro was an ancient Iranian who his family and his bloodline have ruled the world for the last 5,000 years? Who would believe that? That's how deceptive they are.